Hello viewers, this session is dedicatedly based on how analytical thinking is going to be a skill that is required by the corporates in the upcoming era, and how we can develop this skill in our day-to-day lives. So let's begin. First of all, we'll talk about, we've bifurcated the complete presentation into three parts. We'll talk about what is analytical thinking, then we will talk about why is analytical thinking important, and then we are also going to talk about how can we develop and polish analytical thinking skills. So the entire presentation and the entire discussion is based on these three main pointers. So first of all, what is analytical thinking? Let's talk about the three main areas as decision making, the second is problem solving, and third is logical reasoning. So for example, these are the three areas that is in demand these days. First is decision making, problem solving, and logical reasoning, and along with that, let me tell you that these are soft skills, as these cannot be taught by somebody to you in a classroom. They have to be learned through practice. So in case if you think that you are good at all of them, that's a good thing, and the intersection of all these things could be nothing but analytical thinking. So if you're good at decision making, that's good. If you're good at problem solving, that's good. If you're good at logical reasoning, that's good, because these are three ingredients that will take you to analytical thinking, and that is what we are going to cover in this particular presentation. So next is main components of analytical thinking. I would say the first main component is logical reasoning, the second main component is decision making, and the third main component is problem solving. So we are going to cover these three components step by step. We'll find out how logical reasoning results in decision making, and that results in problem solving. So let's talk about why analytical thinking is important. It is important because of these four particular reasons. The first is to articulate and visualize the problems. Now for example, if I'm talking about professionals who are working in engineering field, or professionals who are getting their degrees in this particular area, it is important for you to articulate and visualize problems beforehand, because we cannot cry upon the past. We need to foresee the future, and there we need to deal with the problems, and for that we need to articulate and visualize them. So there the analytical thinking is going to help you out. Second is to gather information. Now analytical thinking is also important because you need to gather information relevant to the problems that are there. Third is to explore facts and possible options systematically. See, one is finding a solution, and one is finding a solution systematically. So if you are of the type 2, analytical thinking is definitely going to help you out. And fourth is to find a suitable solution. Is this solution affordable? Is the solution in the category of sustainable? Is it sustainable or not? So all these factors are being taken care of, and this is going to help. The analytical thinking part is going to help you out with that also. Next is, let's talk about what does analytical thinking help in. So for you as a professional, analytical thinking can help you out with a lot of things. First is strategizing and planning for future, because engineers these days, they are trying to develop the technology for future. If I talk about Internet of Things, if I talk about machine learning, if I talk about artificial intelligence, we are preparing our workforce to be future ready. So in case if a workforce has to be future ready, are we strategizing and planning for future? So yes, analytical thinking is going to help you out with that. Deciphering the facts and figures, analytical thinking is going to help you out with that, because there is a lot of information available these days, but information, in case if it is to be interpreted, that becomes knowledge, and that knowledge is going to help you out. So analytical thinking helps you out in that dimension also. Then is addressing the problem efficiently. As we have talked about, there is a difference between being effective and efficient. So in case if you have to be productive, in case if you have to achieve maximum output with the minimum possible input, and if the output has to be synchronized with what the main or overall objectives are, analytical thinking is going to help you out there also. And then is innovating effective solutions. So, analytical thinking is going to help you out to think out of the box, to think whether there are other solutions available to the problem or not. So, this is how analytical thinking is going to help you out. Then is process involved in analytical thinking. We are now going to talk about what are the steps involved in analytical thinking, and we are going to cover it in a step by step format. So, there are these many steps that are involved in analytical thinking. First is recognizing the underlying issues or problems. So, first of all, what you have to do is you have to first understand what the problems are. So, for example, if you are going to design a particular technology, you cannot start just like that. You need to understand the problem first. Second is break down the problems into key parts, because what happens is that one particular team or one particular person cannot design the entire part in one go and whole handedly. So, for that matter, you need to break down the problems into sub parts. Third is organizing the information related to the underlying issues or problems. So, for example, if you have broken down one problem into 5 different sub problems, the next step could be to organize the information related to the underlying issues or problems. So, you need to organize the information step by step to the sub categories. Fourth is recognizing the cause and effect. What are the causes of any problem? So, you need to recognize the cause and effect. What would be the cause of a particular problem and how is it going to affect that particular thinking? Fifth step would be integrate all the pieces. So, whatever things we have talked in step number 1 to 4, we need to integrate, we need to put them all together. Then is the sixth step is analyze the complexity, because sometimes what happens is when we break down the problem into sub problems, the complexity of the entire problem increases and it becomes very difficult for us to analyze that. So, the complexity has to be analyzed, whether the solution that we are going to find is as per the needs or is it feasible even or not, and then is draw a proper conclusion. So, these are the processes involved in analytical thinking. So, whether you are going to work on a project, whether you are going to work on any innovative idea, you start with these 7 steps and you need to find out, you have to align all your thinking processes in this particular direction. Then is what are the requirements for analytical thinking. So, what are skills are required to be good at analytical thinking? Let us talk about it. So, first is balanced decision making. Are you a person who takes any decision in a hurry, or are you a balanced decision maker? Do you put in your time and efforts to take out a particular decision? That is the first thing. Second is conceptual thinking. Are you thinking based on based out of a particular concept, or your thinking is vague and directionless? That is the second skill. Then is evaluative outlook. For example, if there are 3 solutions to a problem, you pick up one solution, you analyze it. If you feel that's good, accept it, otherwise reject it. You pick up the second solution, you find it feasible, okay. You think about the third solution, you think that's okay. If you reject any one out of it, you have to eliminate them step by step. So, you need to evaluate it and you need to keep the best possible solution in that particular way. Intuitiveness, here your prior experience would also come into picture. Your prior experience is also going to help you out, and your intuitions about a particular thing is going to help you out. And in the information era, it is not difficult to rely on your intuitiveness, provided it is backed up by a particular plan. Then is problem identification. Yes, to be good at analytical thinking, you need to be good at identifying a problem, identifying a particular problem, because once the problem is identified, then only you can offer a particular solution for that. And then there is theoretical and practical problem solving. One is that there is a difference between how the theory works and how the practical aspects work, but to be good at analytical thinking, you need to be good at both of them, because there would be times when you would be expected to work on the theoretical part, and there would be times where you need to be good at the practical parts. So, these are the requirements for analytical thinking, and these are the 6 skills that are required to be good at the analytical thinking process. The 7th one, of course, we cannot disregard is the common sense. See, for example, if your common sense says that this project involves a lot of difficulties and it is not going to be feasible, you think about all these things first, and you think about the steps that we have discussed in the previous slide. If the answer to every situation is no, then probably the common sense would also say that yes, this is not going to help us out, right. So, we are now going to talk about the types of analytical skills that are in demand these days. The first is communication. Communication skill is the first analytical skill that has to be there, and under communication skills, the sub skills that are there, the first is listening. Right, it's a two-way process. The communication process is a two-way process. So speaking is as effective, has to be as effective as listening. Surveying, which also involves talking to people, collecting their ideas, listening to their ideas. Then is reporting, which involves a lot of written skills, because that also involves a lot of technical English that has to be there. It has to be grammatically correct. It has to be structured in a way that, you know, the reports, when somebody reads out the report, that should be understandable to the viewer. And then is the way of presentation. So these are the communication skills that a good person, or that a good analytical person should have. Second type of analytical skill is creativity, and in order to be creative, you have to have the sub skills, which is brainstorming. For example, if you are facing a problem and you are trying to find a solution for that, you need to discuss it with a lot of people. 4 or 5 people can sit together, discuss their ideas. That is what brainstorming is all about. Then is structuring. For example, if you have captured a lot of ideas, but then it is important to structure them into a right sequence. Then comes collaborating, which means that you need to be you need to know with whom to collaborate in order to find the best possible solution. And last but not the least, under creativity is strategizing, which means that you need to have a particular plan to implement all those ideas. So after communication, after creativity, we move on to critical thinking. That is the third type of analytical skill that is in demand these days. So first is process management. That is one aspect of critical thinking under this particular area. Then is auditing, calculating, improvising, computing, and classifying. And I would say most of them, they are hard skills, which most of the engineers and professional people are well aware of. The fourth critical thinking type, analytical skills is data analysis. So we need to be aware of how to conduct SWOT analysis, and SWOT means strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So before moving ahead, we need to have a clear idea of what these particular dimensions are, and in case if the solution is feasible, then only we need to move ahead. There is cost benefit analysis, CBA. So before putting your time, putting your efforts, and obviously there are financial constraints also. So before moving ahead, you need to compare them with the cost benefit analysis. And then is policy analysis. So it also happens sometimes that there are certain constraints related to the government's policies or the organization's policies, because of which we cannot find that the solution is a feasible one. So all these things have to be taken care of beforehand, before implementing a particular solution. And fifth type of analytical skill is research, and we all know that research is the main domain wherein a lot of efforts are required in case of designing new solutions. So first of all, investigation has to be there. That investigation could be in the form of observation or in the form of interrogation. Then data collection has to be there. The data can be collected verbally, it can be captured by observation. Then matrices and data entry. So these are some of the analytical skills related to the research. Next, we are going to talk about steps to improve analytical skills. There are 5 steps, if I have to say, and we'll talk about those steps one by one. The first step is be observant, right? You have to be good at observing how something is happening, why something is happening, and what are the key observations regarding to that. That could make you good at analytical skills. The second is read more. Obviously nothing can substitute the quality of reading, the good quality reading that can offer you. Nothing can be substituted by that, nothing can substitute that. So more you read, more knowledge you gain, and you can argue more, and then you could be good at analytical skills. Then is explore how things work. There's something called inquisitiveness. See, if you have the skill, that is going to help you out a big time, because if you question each and everything, that will make you inquisitive. If you question how something is working, what kind of a problem is there in your particular field, that will make you explore new things, and that is also a way of improving your analytical skills. Next is ask questions. As I said, being inquisitive is always going to help you out. Never ever settle down with the answers that are being provided to you, no matter what. You need to be good about not getting satisfied with the type of answers that you get. And then is practice problem solving skills, and these skills can be practiced not only in your work domain but in your daily life as well. So these are some of the steps of improving your analytical skills. Next slide covers how to assess analytical thinking skills. So I'll be sharing a few ideas with you. By posing hypothetical scenarios, that is, you create a hypothetical situation and try to find a solution, and then think whether your analytical thinking has helped you out or not, by presenting real life challenging situations to suggest the solutions. That could be another way. Another is by evaluating procedures and steps followed up for problem solving. That is the third way. And then is by analyzing the rationales behind choices. So if you keep on questioning the problems that are there in daily life, why, what, how, is this the right solution, is this the appropriate solution, or can there be a better solution? So all these things can help you out in assessing the analytical thinking skills. So that is it about the analytical thinking skills. In the next part, we are going to find out how we can use it in our daily lives, and in order to showcase that yes, you have that skill, I'm going to give you a certain tips. Thank you.